Alright, what's up YouTube? Crimson Fox here with another deck breakdown. Today I'll be doing another live deck because I just finished building this deck. It's not entirely finished, but I decided to show my progress on this deck. The deck I'm going to show you today is a Uria deck. It's worked fairly well against most of my other decks. It's effective, to say the least. And it's really fun and it's interesting, unlike, most of the other decks that I've been running. Not that they aren't fun, but they also get kind of boring. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, moving on. So let's kick off the deck with the key card, Uria, Lord of Searing Flames. I run 2 of them. That's right, 2, and not 3. What I like about Uria is that he's the English version of Slifer. That's the only reason I wanted to build this deck. I'm going to tell you guys right now. That is the only reason, because I want to be able to use Slifer. Now, of course, we don't have the English Slifer yet. They have one in Japan with an effect, but as far as I know, we do not have the English Slifer yet. But we're getting it soon, so here's hoping. Oh. Sorry, I just noticed something about my card. But anyway, little info about this card. He's part of a set called the Sacred Beasts, which were originally the usable god cards here in America. They were introduced in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. And yeah, some background information on Uria. Each one had to be specially summoned. That sounded stupid. Each one had something that made them like their original counterpart. Like Raviel kind of worked like Obelisk. Haman kind of worked like Ra. Actually, they don't do anything like the other ones. But certain effects about them kind of relate them. For example, Uria, the Slifer of the group, gets more power depending on the number of cards somewhere on the field or in your hand. In this case, in the grave. Okay? Besides all that background information, pretty much how you get them out is you tribute 3 trap cards, and that's any kind of trap card. You can tribute 3 as long as it's face up for a amount of time after activation. Like if it stays on the field. For example, if you had Kunai with Chain, you could technically tribute Kunai with Chain to summon him. But it's very doubtful that you'd want to do that because he only gains attack for every continuous trap card on the field. But yeah, you pretty much tribute 3 trap cards, and you bring him out. And then he gains 1,000 attack for every trap card in the grave. Or every continuous trap card, my bad, in the grave. Which is nice, which means he can get really powerful, just like Slifer can, except his power is a little bit more permanent. Because he's gaining the attack points, they don't become his attack. So certain things about it will always remain the same. He starts off at 0-0, and since he has a 0 in attack, he can be searched through Sangan, which is nice. It's always nice to have your key card searchable through Sangan. Alright, but that's just extra things about him. The real reason I like using him, besides the fact that he's English Slifer, TCG Slifer, is his effect. Because in the TCG we still have priority, it's a really good effect. What he does is whenever your opponent has a set spell or trap card, you can blow it up, free of charge, and they can't do anything about it. They cannot chain to your effect, they cannot respond to your effect, nothing. There's not a single thing they can do, or at least not with spell and trap cards. Monster effects can still go off if they're chainable like that, but not spell or trap. So it's pretty good. And the reason I mentioned priority is because it's very important to him. With priority, it pretty much means he cannot be bottomless. Here's what I mean. Because we have priority, we have him hit the field. And I did check the rulings on this. We have him hit the field. Your opponent tries to bottomless him. You go, well, I call priority, blow it up before it actually activates. And yes, that works, as far as I know, according to the rulings on wiki, on the Yu-Gi-Oh wiki. I don't know if they changed it so that way it's a previously existing ruling or whatever. As far as I know, he stops bottomless whenever he gets summoned. Now, he cannot stop stuff like counter traps. It's too fast, and priority doesn't work there for some reason. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I just know that it works that way. I don't need to know the why, I just need to know the how. Anyway, that's my thing about it. Alright, so there's your first set of monsters. Now the rest of the monster lineup is a return deck. You know, sending monsters back from the field to the hand or deck. In this case, the hand. It just kind of helps clear monsters off of out of Uriah's path. Uriah's not too worried about spell or trap, especially if you run certain continuous trap cards in the deck. So, yeah, alright. Next up, we have 2 Penguin Soldier. Penguin Soldier is a great card. He can return any 2 monsters from the field to the hand. Which is amazing. And it's up to you whether or not you want to activate his effect. So pretty much, here's what I mean. You can flip him and return just 1 monster. You can flip him and return 2 monsters. You can reflip him and return no monsters. And what was really good about it, that the rulings changed from when I used to have this card. I had 1, and I used it in the deck a lot. This was back when I was like 6 or whatever. Pretty much, what people used to think you could do with Penguin Soldier is have him be set, have him get attacked, and then return him and the attacking monster. It does not work that way. You could still return the other monsters. You just can't return himself. But still, really good card. Returns a lot of shit to the hand and fucks a lot of things up. Alright, next. 2 monsters you probably won't ever recognize ever. Kelbeck. You guys remember Wall of Illusion, right? Well, this is the Earth version of it. It has less defense, and the words on the card are a little bit different, but other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. The reason I use this instead of Wall of Illusion itself is because there's a card in my deck that stops Wall of Illusion from working, and I need Wall of Illusion to work. So you can understand that dilemma. But other than that, it's good to return, it's a good defensive card, keeps my opponent on his toes. Alright, next, 2 Flip-Flop Frog. Simple returner, and if you're lucky enough to have 1 live after an attack, you can just go, bam, flip another Flip-Flop Frog and return 2 cards. So that's always nice. Now, like I said, this deck is actually incomplete, so a lot of the cards will be changed when I actually get the card, or when I actually get the cards I need, which probably won't be for a long, long while. Alright, next. 1 Gale Lizard. And I know it looks shitty. I know it. You can't tell exactly what it is. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to lay down. Alright, anyway. Gale Lizard. He's interesting. Now, I don't know if this actually works. I keep forgetting to look up his rulings. But he works pretty much the same as any other returner. He flips, and he can return 1 monster card. Wait a minute. It says monster card? That's impossible! What could it mean? Sorry if I sound weird. I've been watching Nostalgic Critic videos all day. My god, he's funny. Sorry about that. Sorry about the long pause. But anyway, he says monster card, which is what makes him interesting. So, when he's flipped, it makes me think that as long as it was a monster, no matter where it is on the field, I can return it. Now, of course, that's just my thinking of things. I don't know if that's how it actually works. I don't know if the rulings say something different. I don't know anything about this card because I keep forgetting to look up the rulings. Why? Because I'm dumb. Just a little bit. Alright. Well, that's besides the point. Next. Morphing Jar number 2. Only one of them, because I only own one. It's a very decent card. You know, returns a lot of monsters to the hand, and then allows me to special summon. And since all of the monsters in my deck are level 4 or lower, except for Uriah himself. So I don't need to worry too much about having the monsters get returned and then special summon, and then having to discard Uria. If I discard anything else, it's fine. My spells or traps. The traps I want in the grave. The spells, I kind of don't, but I don't mind, because I don't have a lot of spells in the deck. I'm going to tell you right now, I do not have a lot of spells in the deck. But other than that, he's a really good card, and I like to use him. Alright? Next up, Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke. He's not in here for any other reason but power. That is really it. He is just an 18 beater. I don't have anything much more powerful than him, so I just used him. Okay. Next, and the last monster card, Sangan, like I was talking about. He searches everything but Grandmaster in the deck. He literally searches everything. Uria, Penguin Soldier, Kelbeck, Flip-Flop Frog, sorry you can't see the cards, Gale Lizard, and Morphing Jar number 2. He searches out all of them. So, really good in the deck. Helps me get the cards I need. Alright. But then again, that's Sangan for you. It's just how it works. Alright. Monster Reincarnation. I run this just in case a Uria ever does hit the grave and I don't want it there. It gets me a free discard, which means, wow, I get to discard a continuous trap, since that's what makes up most of the deck. And that's really, really nice. That means that when I bring him back out eventually, he'll have more power. And if I can't get rid of a continuous trap in my hand, I can just get rid of something that I don't need at the moment. So, it's a really good card. It's a nice -1/+1. So, I like it. Next, 2 swords and 1 nightmare's steel cage. These help stall through the deck. They're really nice cards. Pretty much this gives me a plus, if they're not destroyed, it gives me a plus 3, 6, 7, 8. It gives me a plus 8. It gives me pretty much, hang on, sorry. 1 is 6, 2 is 6, so 12 plus 4 turns, yeah, 16. It pretty much gives me free 16 turns, that's mine and my opponent's combined, of just being safe. I don't have to worry about his monsters attacking or anything, so I can just have my monsters be safe and sound and just keep flipping them and using their return effects and have his entire hand get fucked up. Like, one Penguin Soldier can fuck up an entire field like that. Just flip, 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 flip. It really does help a lot to have that stall. Plus, it gives me more chance to draw into him and more continuous traps if need be. Alright, next, 2-hand destruction. Free draw power and free discards. Always nice. Last of the spells, 2 MST. I don't need a lot of spell trap destruction. Oh, sorry, I needed to get up again. And I don't feel like I need too much. That's why I don't have too much. But then again, it's always nice to have that extra security, so that's what Mystical Space Typhoon's there for. Alright. Next are the traps. I have them ordered in a somewhat sensible order, from most important to least important. First up being my trap monsters. What's good about these is that they count as both monsters and traps, which is terrific. At least for this deck. See, since they count both as continuous traps and monsters at the same time, that means that even though they have a lot more weaknesses now, they also have a lot more strength in the deck. I can just summon out 3 of them, tribute them, and then get Uria out really easy. Plus, they up the monster count of the deck, so I don't feel so... What's the word I'm looking for? Stupid. Yeah, that's the word. Anyway. The first 2 are Tiki Soul. These, the Tiki Soul help keep my trap monsters safe. Pretty much, when a trap monster other than Tiki Soul is killed, or would be killed, it's set face down instead. So, he helps them keep them safe and keep them going. Next up is Tiki Curse. He helps make them useful. When a card other than the face-up Tiki Curse, when a card other than a Tiki Curse is attacked, another trap monster is attacked, the monster that currently attacked that trap monster is dead. So having a Tiki Soul and a Tiki Curse in the field pretty much guarantees me some sort of safety. Plus they have inverse attack and defense. Whereas he's 18 of 1,000, the other one's 1,018, so I have one in defense and one in attack. That means they're more tempted to attack the Tiki Curse to do damage. But on the off chance they decide to attack Tiki Soul, they get destroyed. So, it's all good. They're really good cards for this deck. And they really work well with the amount of trap monsters. Last two, Metal Reflect Slime and Stronghold. The only reason I run these two, or him, is because I don't have a second one of him. I wish I had a second one of him, because then I'd replace him with the second one of him. 3k Defender is amazing. Not a lot of decks that I know of or go against go over 3k. So just slapping him on the field and saying, haha, you can't kill me, is a viable option. It's always nice to do. Alright. Next, Stronghold, the Moving Fortress, which is, he's just a 2k defense. He's not as good as his counterpart, but still pretty good. Alright, next are my stopping traps. There's a lot more of these than the last set. I'm just going to pull the rest of all of them to the side, but show you them one at a time. My favorite, first, Shadow Spell. Great card. Stops a monster from attacking or changes battle position, and makes them lose 800 attack, which is a huge amount, believe it or not. I know some people think that, like, I've heard some people say that they don't want to use Solidarity because it doesn't give them a huge increase. I disagree. 800 is a big number in Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know about you, but I certainly think it's a big number. Pretty good. Alright. Next up. Here we go. Sorry, I had to grab the third one. Spellbinding Circle. Pretty much does the same thing as Shadow Spell, except for two things. Whereas Shadow Spell doesn't stay on the field as long as the monster does. As long as the monster this is targeting doesn't die, this remains face up on the field, much like Call of the Haunted, which you'll notice later that I don't run, because I just don't need to run it, honestly. I don't. Like, the monsters I don't need to summon from the graveyard. I can't summon Uria from the graveyard, so there's no point in having it. When I change, maybe if I change up the deck lineup, or the deck idea, I'll probably change it. Anyway, so yeah, it does the same thing as Shadow Spell, minus the attack decrease, and plus the stayability, as I like to put it. Anyway, this is the these next three cards are meant to be something else, but I don't have money, so I can't use them. I'm referring to Fiendish Chain, so instead I use these things. The Imprisoning Mirror set. I have run 2 Shadows and 1 Light, because, well, I do a lot more Dark decks than I do Light decks, but every now so often, I do need a Light deck. I do need a Light deck, so I keep in the 1. I would like 3 Shadows. I only own 2. So having a third one would be nice. And then I'll just keep all 3 Lights in the side deck, just in case I go up against a Light deck. But what I'd really like to run over that is Fiendish fucking Chain, because it does what this does, but a little bit better, and works a little bit more like Shadow Spell and Spellbinding Circle. But these are good, substitutes for the cards. They stop dark monsters that are both on the field and in the grave, which means Dark Worlds get fucked up. I don't know about Light Sworns. Yep, it would fuck up Light Sworns just a little bit. Because it stops someone's like Wolf and shit. But anyway, yeah, pretty much just negates it. And next there's some interesting tech choices that I decided to use. 2 Summon Limit. Stops monster from being summoned. Now, I don't summon too often. Not in one turn. I don't special summon a lot in this deck. So it's pretty good to have. Keeping my opponent from summoning more than twice a turn is terrific. Plus, it's a viable tribute for Uria, so bonus. Next, Depth Amulet. It's pretty much like another version of Spellbinding Circle, at least in this case. That's how I think of it. I use Spellbinding Circle and Shadow Spell to stop attacks. Depth Amulet stops attacks directly. Like, literally just stops attacks. Plus, it gives me that discard factor, where I just go, bloop, drop a continuous trap. Oh, Uria is now more powerful. So it's always good to have that discard ability. And the last card of the main deck, Reckless Greed. Woo! Reckless Greed. Love this card. It is so good. I just wish I had more. I used to have 2, but then my friend took one of his back. Oh, the fucking joy. That's alright, I'm not actually mad. But It's always nice to have more Reckless Greed. Anyway, so that's the main deck. Going on to the extra deck, or should I say extra card, because I only have one of it. Wind Up Zenmaister. Now, as you noticed, most of the cards in this deck are flip effect. They happen when they flip face up. I like Zenmaister because he flips them fast. He flips the one that can't flip themselves, but face down, back to face down. Plus, he comes out and he comes out at 25 beater. So it's always nice to have that. And that's the deck. Overall, it works. I know it's beaten my Chaos Dragons that I have, and it's beaten my Spiders. I haven't dual tested it against my Dragoonies, but more than likely it'll lose to them. And Dragoonies are literally my best deck, minus Sonic, which I can guarantee you will win. It is a guarantee. But anyway, so that's the deck. There it is. You know, if you want, you can give me comments on it. You know, tell me what I can fix, what I need to fix, what cards I should use, within reason. Within reason. This means don't tell me to go out and get Fiendish Chains or Tour Guides, because I can't afford them. I don't have that kind of money. But, if you guys want to, again, if you guys want to duel me or whatever, get me on, help, want me to break down a deck for you on DNet, want you to break down even a card for you on DNet or something, I'll do that. I'll be happy to do that. I'll study up on the card and study up on the deck and help you figure out how to build it and how to use the card and da-da-da-da. Same thing. So, that's it for me. So, remember, rate, comment, subscribe, draw bones, something like that. And until next time, keep on being nerdy.